So, this is always the awkward warm-up, but what we do here is we check it out on here first to make sure.
Nice.
Fingers crossed. Oh, maybe. Hey, that's us.
Oh, there we are. A little bit of a lag.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag, so try not to... Man, I like humongous. That's awesome. Well, that's okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Oregon Brewery Running Series conversation. This is episode number 6. I don't really have a good name for this. It's
episode 6.
Just episode 6. There's not like a good, Oops, I got to mute that. That happened to me every time. That'll get really confusing if we do that. So
is there an echo in the room?
What's going on? Hello. Hey everybody, this is Nathan Freeberg with the Oregon Brewery Running Series. I already said that, but this is episode 6, and I'm here with Liz Anjos.
Hi.
Anjos, right?
Yeah,
That's
Anjos.
Anjos.
Yeah.
It was Anjos or some.
Yeah, I've heard
interesting.
Anjos.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be. Mark Ramey, who's a
Ramey. I've
Remy.
known.
I know.
Mark, or at least known of Mark for probably 10 years. I always thought it was Remy. Because I followed him on Runner's World. Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah. Ramey.
Yeah.
Not Remy, which is a little bit, I mean, I run with him probably once or twice a week, and it was probably, well, I guess I've known this for a while now. But so anyway, Liz Anjos. We're not talking about Mark, we're talking about you. I'm excited to talk to you. You have a lot of hats that you wear.
Yes.
And a lot of different things that you do. You are a musician, you are a singer, songwriter, performer, a lot of different instruments that you play.
Yes.
I was actually going to text you and see if you could bring something with, because I thought that would be really fun, but alas, you did not.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a piano over there.
That's true.
I'm sure everyone working on their laptops would really love if I just broke out into song.
It would be awesome. So if you were to do that, do you have a go-to song that you always just play when is there something that you learned when you were 16 and you're like, this is my party song?
Yeah, it depends on what direction we're going. Right now I have, a song that I recently wrote that I feel like I could just pick up and play it anywhere. But then, I have a go-to, I've got to have my showy classical piece that's this Beethoven sonata that I've been playing forever, so I'll just bust it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Für Elise? That's not Beethoven, but that's that would be my go-to song.
Yeah.
So we have that in common. I took piano lessons from, I don't even know how old I was, very young, all the way till I was a senior in high school.
Oh,
I hated it.
That.
I hated it, and now I regret not sticking with it.
It's
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a long time to stick with it. If you hate it.
There was some parental pressure, and I think deep down I always thought I was going to become Ben Folds. I guess it was before Ben Folds, but anyway, I digress. So you are a musician, a songwriter, a runner, which is most pertinent perhaps to our audience.
Sure.
You're also a runner model, which will be interesting to talk about that. And fun fact, Liz and I actually met when we were doing some modeling for our friend, Mark Ramey. I don't know if it was modeling. Is it considered modeling if you just stand there and kind of have a goofy look on your face, or do you have to be a little more
I think if you put your hand on your hip and purse your lips a little bit, you're a model. So that's all there is, right?
I can't remember if there was a hand on my hip or not, but anyway, you're also a personal running coach, and you've been doing that. How long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing that I want to say for around 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I started...
That's awesome. I didn't know it was that long. Okay, very cool.
I got started... my first coaching job was assistant coaching with my college team after I graduated. And then I started personal coaching online.
Yes.
Yeah.
The new online coaches are so handy to have. Yeah. Where'd you go to college?
Greenville College
in Southern Illinois, right?
Yes. Yeah. Southern Illinois, 45 minutes outside of St. Louis.
Okay. Another fun fact. My mom went there for a semester.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, isn't that small world? She grew up in Kankakee, Illinois.
Okay.
I don't know if you know where that is.
That sounds
it's
familiar.
Central Illinois, technically Manteno, a tiny little farming town.
Yeah,
so I saw that in your bio. I just asked you where you went to college, but I already knew that. I did read that stuff you sent me. But yeah, I was like, well, that's funny. I don't think I've known or met a single soul ever who who has gone there. I don't really know much about it.
No,
'cause
I mean,
she transferred after first semester there.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I mean, I feel like there are people all over, like any city I go to. You know, I play in a band wherever we tour. We'll find there will be people that went to Greenville College that'll come out and see us.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I won't necessarily meet someone by chance that has a connection there. Yeah,
okay.
so that's cool.
That's funny. And you're from Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania.
You ended up
Yeah.
in Southern Illinois, and you're kind of hopscotching your way across the country. Now you're out on the West Coast.
Right. And going back even farther, I was actually born in Salem, Oregon.
Were you really?
So, native Oregonian, but...
My wife grew up in Dallas, Oregon, which is right outside of Salem. This is fun.
Connections everywhere.
Connections are, yeah. All right, so there is a flow to this conversation today. There's going to be some of it. So Liz, here's my first question I want to ask you. So all those things that I read, musician, songwriter, which maybe are those very different things? I mean, obviously they're different.
Sure,
When you're the same person, I don't know.
When I think of like musician, I think of the actual like physical playing of the
right.
instruments and kind of
There's
learning
more that goes
that
into
craft.
writing.
And songwriting is. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a musician, you're a songwriter, you're a runner model, you're a personal running coach and a blogger, and I'm sure there's a lot more to you, obviously. But how would you order those things if you had to say this is, from 1 to, I don't even know how many those are, it's 1, 2, 3, from 1 to whatever. This is like maybe priority or how much time you spend on that. And I don't know, that's a diverse portfolio, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I like how you phrased that question. I mean, like you sent me just like a little short questionnaire. It said...
Very short.
It didn't say, what do you do? It said, who are you? And I think you'll get a different answer from me depending on what question you ask. So when you ask, who am I really do. I would say I identify as a runner. Okay. First and foremost. I mean, I'm a total running nerd. I wake up and think about running.
Wrong with that.
I know.
Don't say it like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really,
awesome.
I will, I'll wake up and, as I'm making my coffee and my breakfast, I'll listen to my running podcasts. And then as I'm eating my breakfast, I'll read my running publications. Then I'll check in on my clients. Then I'll write in my blog. Then I'll go for a run. Then I don't know. I just
running is your thing.
Hardcore into running.
And you're a hardcore, you're a good runner. I don't know what
Thanks.
I say hardcore good runner, but that's not very good descriptive. You have a 2:59, is that right, in the marathon, and a 1:24 in the half marathon.
Yes.
Which is impressive. You are a little bit faster than me, which makes me jealous. Maybe I need to come to you for coaching. But that's pretty cool. And it sounds like you've been running for a long time, but it took you a while to, was it identify as a runner or kind of say, yes, I'm going to do this? Tell me that story about on your college cross-country team, your senior year, you finally decided, I'm going to actually do this. Well, I mean, you ran in high school, but then there's a big break and blah, blah. Yeah.
So I ran in high school. It was, I was a new runner. Running was really hard. I didn't necessarily like running, but I liked being on the team, and it was just something fun to do after school. And I liked how I felt after I ran. I was like, oh yeah, I just did that. That's cool.
No one has ever gone on a run and come back and be like, that was awful. I wish I would have stayed at home.
Right. So I took a little break in college. I was like, oh, I'm a musician. I should focus on music. And then, I would still, say I'd be out on campus, on my way to choir practice, and I'd see the cross-country team out practicing or doing their drills or just, running by.
In their little short shorts.
And they're, beautiful flock of runners. I'd be like, oh, I want to be right. I was like, I want to be out there with them. That looks like so much fun that I just, kind of had this, sense of, I want to be out there with them.
Identify with that. Yeah. Was it the lifestyle? Was it you just wanted to emulate and be what all those people were?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think running has, or at least at that point, had always been this kind of mystery. I mean, it still is. You always wonder.
Oh, it's a mystery.
No, running is a mystery. It's, I mean, I'm just kind of diverting, but I'm really into sci-fi and things like that. And one of the big questions in that world is what if, and I feel like that really relates to running, because when I think of running, and I think when a lot of other people do, they think, what if? What if I went a little farther? How much farther can I go? How much faster can I go? And that little question just tugged at me a lot. And I was like, well, what could I do if I actually went out there and practiced with them every day?
Right.
So, So I joined.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks. I joined the team my senior year. And I really think it wasn't just like I kind of like this. I think I'll do it more. It was just like a switch that was flipped. I was just like,
now I'm running.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to do this. Okay.
Yeah. I felt that kind of tug or pull, that pull toward it. And then once I actually, went for it, I was all in. I was like, this is what I want to be doing. This is awesome. This is where I feel like myself. So
that's so cool. Did you move to Portland then to kind of pursue some running stuff? Or was this just a totally, because this is a place to be, right? I mean, maybe one of the, running meccas for professional runners in the whole country is Portland, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So coming here from Southern Illinois, I don't know, was that just coincidental or?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
For my own, for my personal self, I was like, yes, Portland. Like, I want to go to Portland. It's for, that's where all the runners are. Like, that's where, Nike, all the Nike runners are. And, I just saw myself on camera and I lost my train of thought. I was like, people are listening to this and watching this.
There's no editing. Which there can be.
No, it's okay.
Probably
Leave it all
not.
in.
Probably not.
Yeah, but I actually moved out here to keep pursuing music. I was playing in a college band, and we wanted to keep kind of doing that and move to a city and keep working together. And at the time, and it still is, but Portland is not just a mecca for running, but it's a mecca for music and arts. And so it was a little bit random in the way we moved out here. We were looking at Portland and Seattle, and I was like, Portland!
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So.
Were you married at the time, or did you move out? Okay, so you and your husband decided to move out here.
Yeah.
And you're both into music. You're a very musical family.
Yes.
Which is cool. And I was reading in, something you sent me, or I Googled you, and there's a lot of reading about you today. Which sounds really creepy, but it's not. I promise.
It's research.
Yes. But you guys kind of trade skills, trade talents. So you sing, or do you play with him, or sing with him, or what do you...
A little bit of
both. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And he does some mixing for you. That's one of his big things.
Right. Yeah. He does.
You won a Grammy for it. It's kind of he's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So Andre, my husband, he's a producer, songwriter, and he writes his own music and production under the moniker RAC.
Okay.
And I have just only a small role in that, in the sense that he has a live band and I play in that live band. So
gotcha. Okay.
I play keyboard and sing whenever we, take the show on the road.
On the road, going all over the world. Really, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he recording wise, I will occasionally lend my vocals to his tracks.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Okay. Cool. I just realized I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here, but so you guys moved out to Portland to pursue music. How long have you lived here then? 6? No.
Since 2009.
No, like 10 years. Oh no, 8 years. I can't do math. Not 8. 2009. 12.
Yeah,
13, 14,
about
15, 16, 17.
8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
7
yeah.
to 8
So there's
years. Okay.
I graduated college in 2007. He graduated in 2008, 2009. He was it was in the middle of the year. So yeah, and then we moved out to Portland in the summer of 2009.
Gotcha. Why? I mean, wow. Why? What do you guys like about here? Why do you stay out here? What are some of the cool things about Portland? And the reason I asked, so I'm a transplant. We moved out here in 2013, and the more that I get to meet people through the running series and just other folks, it seems like there's not a lot of native Portlanders, or there's very few of them. And so I was asking people, why'd you come out here, and why do you stay out here? What do you like about Portland? I mean, we love it. I'm curious, what are some of the things? And you live here. We're in the Pearl, by the way. This is Sister's Coffee in the Pearl, the intersection of Marshall and 15th? 13th.
Yeah.
Trying to read the signs. Right next to Bridgeport Brewing, by the way. Sorry, I should let you just answer the question. So what do you like about Portland?
Oh, it's okay. I personally like Portland. I mean, there's, the running scene,
it's a tough question.
art and
it's
music.
A big question.
It's a big question. I like that it's a smaller city.
A lot of big stuff.
Yeah, with a lot of big stuff. Yeah. What do I mean, I don't even know where to start.
I know. We'll start with food.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite restaurants? Maybe that's even too broad of a question.
Oh, I have my favorites.
You do? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
My favorite restaurant is Bamboo Sushi.
Oh,
I'm kind of obsessed with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I took my friend Krista, who you know.
Ah, yes, Krista.
and work with. We went there for it was her first time last Saturday, and then I had a friend she used to live in Portland but was visiting town this weekend, and she's like, "Oh, can we go to Bamboo?" I was like, "Oh, I guess." Like, pull my arm, why don't you?
All right.
I guess so.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Is there just one of those, or is there a couple of those? Is that it?
There used to be just one, but now they have
there's a few.
4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty
Popularity.
obsessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's one of your favorite places.
Yeah.
What are some other favorite?
Some other
I feel
favorites.
like Portlanders
it depends
talk
on
about
the kind of
food.
I feel like I have a favorite place.
Okay,
to
so that's okay.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite fancy date night? Looking for probably spending a little bit more money, kind of a fancier, maybe dress up, maybe not because it's Portland, but
I know. Yeah, favorite fancy place. I mean, I feel like when I want to do something fancy, I'll go. I think Bamboo is kind of fancy, but but otherwise, I'll stop talking about them. And
today's interview brought to you by
Bamboo.
Yeah.
All the sushi. I like to try new places on date nights because it's like, well, we're going to go somewhere fancy, and there are so many great places.
So many great places.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've one of the more recent ones. I went to Ox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that place was.
That's a great
awesome.
place. We just.
Yeah.
No, we have a gift card. I just got a gift card for my birthday for that place. So that is on our list of date night destinations.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. What about your favorite donut in Portland?
Pips.
Pips? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why Pips?
They are just delicious. I actually I only went for the first time. It was during the big icy snowstorm.
Snowpocalypse 2000.
Yeah, Snowpocalypse. Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
And 16. Yeah.
Yeah, I was with some friends. We went on a very slow, icy 6-mile run, and it took forever.
I bet.
And we were in Northeast.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's a good destination. Yeah. They do have good donuts.
Yeah.
Did you know, when's your birthday?
August 25th.
Did you know that if you go on your birthday, you get a dozen donuts?
Yes.
For free? Of course you knew that. Of course you knew that.
I'm just waiting now because I've been there. Yeah, it was only just in January that I was there. So it's like, okay,
well,
have to go back.
It's a good place. All right, so this is going to be tough. Do you have a favorite Portland coffee destination? I was going to say shop, but...
Yeah, I mean, Sisters is like my go-to spot.
Okay.
I live in this neighborhood. They roast really good coffee.
They do.
And I have to plug their mixed berry scones. I get them way too often.
And this cold brew is delicious as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're being nice enough to let us do this here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Yeah, also a fan of Heart, I just have to say.
Yeah, Heart's great. I was there for the
Yeah.
first time actually a week or two ago over on, was it Burnside? They have a location over there. I think it's
That sounds
Burnside.
on East.
Yeah, on the east
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Yeah. We live over on the east side, so. Okay, enough about food in Portland. Can we talk about your music a little bit?
Yeah.
So I was, again, not stalking, but just I was listening to a lot of your music today, which is
Cool.
awesome. You have a song called Running,
Oh, yeah.
which is really not about running.
It's like about friendship and
Yes.
chasing your dreams.
Yes.
So
Okay.
full disclaimer, that is a cover of a No Doubt song.
Oh, my goodness.
So that was my own rendition. It's like,
Okay, well, it's an awesome rendition.
thanks.
It's awesome. So here's my first question about your music. Do you have a band? Do you play all the instruments? I know you play a bunch. Do you play and record them, and that's like you're doing a early Prince thing of just this is all you on there, or what?
And so a little bit of both. In the recordings, it's basically me and Andre. I play, I play a lot of the instruments.
Okay.
And sing, write the songs. He will produce it, so he'll like add the drum beats and like some guitar stuff and and some other maybe I don't know, like synthesizers and other things too. Just
other computer stuff.
Yeah. So that's on the recording side. Then I do have a live band. I've played with a live band. So I went on my first tour last fall. And had a 4-piece band that
I think that was you. I think you left right after we did the photo shoot for Mark.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
because you said you were going on tour and
Yeah, that was probably
So that must have been it then. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that was really fun. So that was, yeah, kind of the musicians are from all over. My drummer was Jeff Brodsky from LA, Beth Bombara from St. Louis, Troop Gamage from Austin.
Wow. So very eclectic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay. Cosmopolitan mix. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the band that I played with on that tour, and then I did like my first hometown live Portland show earlier, or I guess toward the end of last year, and Andre played with me in that band, and then I also had I had two singers from the voice studio that I take lessons at and perform at. So
very cool.
Yeah, so they sang with me. Yeah.
Well, it's awesome, and I always I'm always so interested to hear like how do you what's your writing process like? And really, I think what's more interesting to me is more of the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I've done this year the 6th interview and talking with the brewers about their creative process of making beer, and like talking with Mark about his little bit creative process. I'm curious what your creative process is. Just how do you take something from nothing and make it into something, in this case a song or a whole bunch of songs.
Yeah.
Are you like just walk around with a notebook all the time and like when a lyric pops into your head you write it down, or what's that process like? And that's not on the list, so.
Yeah. My process, I mean I always start with a melody, because that's the part, I mean, when I listen to music, that's what
sticks with
draws
you.
my attention the most.
Sure.
Yeah, so I usually start with some kind of theme or melody, then start building the chords and the structure of the song along with that. And I'm really into the musical aspects and the kind of song and melody aspects. And I almost always write the lyrics last, which I know a lot of people work in the complete opposite way. Where they might write a lyrics or a poem and build a song around that. But I'm just really into the sound, and I write words that, they mean something to me, but I'll almost sing it in my whatever melody I think of in vowels, like in oohs and ahs, and find sounds that I really like the way they sound and how they work with.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then I'll kind of build the lyrics around that, and then just the whatever the feeling of the song kind of means to me, and how I can put that into words.
Sure, that emotional part of it that's hard to capture. How long does it take to write a song? From maybe you're always kind of working on it in little pieces here and there and thinking about it, so it's hard to say, but is it a long process, that sort of idea for a song, and now we're recording it and others can push play on Spotify and listen to it, or what's the...
Yeah, it depends on the song. That's it takes me a long time. I wish it didn't take me such a long time, but
perfection takes a little longer. You can't rush these things, Liz, right?
That's what I'll tell people.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes I'll get that melody or idea and I'll sit on it for a really long time, and I think that's the kind of thing that will, like, maybe that melody will come to me, and that's great, and it's always it's great to be inspired, but you can't always just wait for that. Sometimes I wait for a melody to come to me, but I can't wait for a song to finish itself. It's not going to finish itself, so I really have to take that idea that I really like, and then I just actually, like, to finish the song, I really just need to sit down and
focus and just
really
do it,
focus and write it. Yeah, so interesting. It's hard. Like, there's the creative side, but then there's also just I need to find a way to get into that creative space and finish the song. Finishing the song is always the hardest part. Yeah,
I think there's this myth about maybe all musicians, but just that there's like, oh, I was inspired for this great song and sat down and wrote it all. You hear about those famous musicians who do that, but there's so much hard work and practice and discipline that goes into it. I was, again, stalking you today, listening to one of the other podcasts that you were on.
Oh,
and I don't remember who it was. I don't remember. You've been on a couple, I think.
I was on Lindsay Hines' podcast.
Okay,
yeah.
So she asked you a question about something about playing the piano, and were you like naturally talented or something? And your answer was basically like, I was really interested, and that kind of forced me to practice even when I didn't want to, and kind of put in all that hard work. And I think so often it's all tied together. Like when it comes to running, when it comes to most anything in life, it's not going to finish itself. That'll be the quote from this. The song's not going to finish itself. Like it's a lot of hard work and discipline and focus and sitting down and doing it. Have you found what's your secret? What's your trick to, I mean, you're an accomplished runner, you're an accomplished musician. Do you have something like a go-to mechanism for helping you to like just finish the song, for putting in the hard work, whatever it is, whatever that, song might be?
Yeah. That's hard. I mean,
sorry, that's kind of a deeper question.
No, it's okay. And I think, so, I will look at one area of my life, like with running, that, like, I have no problem getting out and running every day. Like, I just like to do it. It feels good. Like, it makes me get faster. And then I think of songwriting, and it's not as simple as it's like, oh, I have this thing I can do that I can go accomplish, but you almost have to
it's not as
make
linear.
it.
It's not a
So that's still something
it's just hard.
I'm working on. Yeah.
It's just hard to do.
Yeah.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit into talk about running, because this is the Oregon Brewery running series. So you're a coach, so you must deal with people who don't want to run, or I don't know. So I'm curious. So here's my question. So I'm curious about your pieces of tips, or not tips, advice. I don't know if you watch Mark's podcast, but he said he likes to offer advice versus tips, because tips can be, I don't know, just kind of pithy, or just little things that are, a tip, put on your shoes, whatever. But advice are like things that are memorable, they kind of stick with you, and there's actually something you can do. So so we've had almost 700 people participate in one of our events so far. A lot of repeat customers. But what I found is there are a lot of people who are just kind of your average runner, which is great. There are people who are, interested in running, maybe just for the sake of exercise, just for running, getting out there. So here's my questions. What advice would you have for someone that kind of is in that, maybe they're a newer runner, maybe they've been doing it for a long time, kind of if you think like 25 to 30 minute 5K-er, they don't want to get faster, they don't care about that, but they just, like, how would you encourage them, or what advice might you give them to just like stick with running and keep doing it for the sake of, health or mental clarity, or this is a very convoluted question. Does that make sense? Maybe just I'll back up and just ask it simpler. It's just so someone who's newer to running, what advice would you give them? Like what would you say of, they come to you like, Liz, I like this thing. I don't really know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if, maybe not advice. Scratch that. All right. Live video here.
Yeah.
How would you encourage someone that came to you with that sort of question of just how do I keep going? Like how do I keep making this a part of my life?
Yeah. That's a good question. I mean,
very rambly question.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I have one simple answer. I think.
Come on. Just want the answer.
Yeah.
Just asking for a friend.
Yeah. I would say keep it fun. Like keep it. Don't make
it
I don't
so
know. I mean, it just
complicated.
depends on. Don't make it too complicated. Run because it feels good. Run in a way that feels good. Like, don't feel like you have to go out there every day and crush it. Like running. Right. I mean, if you're just beginning, it will probably feel hard at first, and it might feel hard for a really long time. I would say to
That's okay.
Yeah, to be patient with yourself and give yourself grace. If you're just beginning, it's okay. I mean, even if you're not just beginning, it's okay to take walk breaks. It's okay just to run as easy as what feels good, and just keep it. I guess I would keep it positive.
Sure.
Yeah, keep it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so I've been running since I was 14. Also, another thing we have in common, and I think as I've been running now for a while. That's still a good message. Like that's still important. That's still what I need to hear, I think. As we get older and life changes and we get busier and kids and jobs and whatever else, it's easy to think it has to be all or nothing. If I'm not training to try to qualify for Boston Marathon, then don't bother. But
Yeah.
That's not advice from Coach Liz today.
Yeah, and it's hard to get into that mindset, especially if you
Yeah.
have like maybe had a big goal for a long time, or
Mhm.
if you've been in that maybe that competitive mindset for a
Totally.
long time. But
Totally.
and if that's where you are now, maybe go back to when you first started running and what drew you to it in the first place.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question for me. So I've been running for a while. I qualified for Boston 2 years ago now. Is it 2? It's 2014.
Yeah.
However many years. Almost, it'll
That's
be 3 years
awesome.
this fall. But I didn't make it in because I didn't qualify for it by enough.
Oh, yeah.
So I've tried 2 more times.
Mhm.
Once at Grandma's, which you were running this June, which
Mhm.
is awesome. How'd you pick that race, by the way? Just random.
My coach Greg suggested it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he had a
It's
really
great
good race there.
Yeah.
I've heard really awesome
Okay,
things
well.
about it. It has some cool history. Yeah.
It does. I've run it twice. We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Then I did Eugene last year with
Mhm.
our mutual friend Krista. Or she was just there. We didn't run it together. That one didn't go well.
May I ask what happened? Like why?
You know what? I have no idea. I was on pace through about mile 10, and then have you ever been running a race where you're just like, I'm out of gas, and you're like not even halfway, and so I kind of fought through from mile 10 to about the half marathon mark, and I was like, I had built up a little bit of a buffer, just a couple seconds per mile, and by the halfway I was like 10 seconds in debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, let me just back off, and then I'll try to, speed up in the last 10K. That never happens. Anyway, and then at some point I'm just like, all right, if I can't, beat Q, there's no reason in, like, killing myself here. So anyway, I didn't, like, pass out. I finished with a 319, which still isn't, like, awful. But I was going for 304.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So here's my
really
question
hard.
for you.
Yeah.
It was rough. So here's my question. So I'm once you get kind of out of like that sort of level of shape and training, so it'll be a year in May.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you safely get back into it? Like, obviously I have some ideas, but I'm curious just and by back into it I mean, ramping back up to 70-mile weeks.
Yeah.
Like all that. Is it I don't know. What do you do? Obviously if I can't make the time for it, I can't make the time for it, but is there what would you advise me if you were coaching me?
Yeah. So, I almost feel like I'm
right
in,
on the spot there?
No, it's okay. I feel like I'm in a somewhat similar situation right now. Not that I'm coming off of a little bit of time off, and even though maybe from an outward perspective, it's like I know like here, like these are the things you should do. These are the things you don't want to do. It's really easy to get excited about training and to want to just get right back to where you were before, to run the same paces, to run the same mileage. So I would say ease back in really gradually. I would say supplement with things outside of running just to kind of just to get active without necessarily
going all in.
Going all in or
just
like
killing yourself right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very common advice as far like you don't want to do too much too soon, but
I think
it's really true.
Running, I think that's what's great about running is it's not that complicated. But yeah, okay. Well, part of my plan. So that's great advice. Thank you. Part of my plan is I'm just going to try to. So I run it with the Portland Running Company race team.
Yeah,
you
awesome.
ran with them at one point, right?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. And are you in the Wazelle team now, or
on their
different
volley team? Yeah.
What's it called?
Volley.
Volley. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that in the notes. I was like, I don't know how to pronounce that.
It's French
Wazelle
for to fly. Yeah.
Ah. Okay. And Wazelle is French for bird. Is that right?
Yeah. It's
or
like
something?
So oiseau is the French word for bird, but they just took the EAUX and gave it the feminine. I don't know how you say it, but the ending to make the word feminine. So it's not oiselle isn't a common French word, but it is. It's like the French version, like the female version.
Do you want to parenthetically? Do you want to give a quick what is Wazelle?
Oh, Wazelle.
For those who may not know.
Yeah. So Wazelle is a company. They are they're a women's apparel, running apparel brand based in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe they were established in 2007, but along with making really awesome running clothing, they have a running team, which I'm part of.
A really cool running team. Yeah. That's very cool. Do they have men's stuff?
They have a few T-shirts.
T-shirts. Okay.
Yeah, they're mostly a women's brand,
Yeah.
but they do have a few men's items.
I've seen
yeah.
it, like the women's stuff is super cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the, well, it's just cool stuff. It's very, like the material is very cool. It's very high quality.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, if you have any pull with the Sally and the people in charge, tell them to get some more guys stuff. That would be great.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
I think that would be awesome. Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, Portland Running Company.
Yeah,
race
PRC
team.
race team.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to do, they have this Grand Prix series. I'm trying to do
Yeah.
every race that they have a race a month, which is like all over the state in the metro area here. So I'm doing Shamrock in 2 weeks, just the 15K.
Nice. Me too.
Are you really?
See you out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. You did it last year too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I found your blog entry on that, which is
Oh, cool.
half of the things I'm saying just sound stalkery, but it's
No.
research.
Yeah.
So, but you're doing the 15K or the half?
The
I'm sorry.
15K.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you do the 15K last year?
I did the half last year.
You did the half
Yeah.
last year.
I think
Okay.
that's how I found it, because
It was-
I must have, well, I don't know how I found it. I feel like I read that a while ago. Not that wasn't today, but
Yeah, it
Um,
was. I mean, last year was It
brutal.
was so cold and
So
rainy.
cold,
I
it
mean,
was
I
so
wouldn't
wet.
expect anything else for Shamrock, but
Ugh.
man, it was
was-
hard to
Yeah.
get out the front door that day and
It was-
do that race.
It was brutal. It was
Yeah.
brutal. So anyway, well, that's good advice. I think that's my. Oh, back to what I was saying. So
Mhm.
yeah, my plan is just to kind of get out there and just get more consistent with my training and my
Yeah,
running.
good.
We have twins. And they're almost 9 months old.
Oh.
9 months old, and a 4-year-old at home. So that keeps
Yeah.
us very busy.
Yeah.
And not a lot of time for running. So,
Mhm.
okay. So next question. You don't really like beer,
I know.
but you like cider, which is
I
great.
do like cider. Yeah.
Portland Cider Company. We're going to be there this actually Saturday, the 11th.
Yeah, I
of
saw
March,
that.
which is great. You
yeah,
should come.
that's awesome. I'm gonna
should come run.
try to make it. I have a music rehearsal, but I think I might be able to make both work.
Okay.
so,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't skip that. So what kind of cider do you like? Either kinds or brands, or I'm very new to cider, so you could just say anything, and I'll be like, oh, that sounds good, because I don't know much about it.
Yeah. Ooh, I feel like I should have written this down.
That's
Cider.
okay.
I really like. I mean, I like the Two Towns brand. They had this really
that's good.
I think they called it Made Marion. It was.
Ooh, a Marionberry?
A Marionberry,
Yes,
yeah.
of course. That's what's great about ciders. You can put anything in it, and it kind of changes it into almost a totally different beverage.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
still apple juice.
Yeah, I know. It's apple juice. It's grown-up apple juice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Portland Cider Company has this pineapple cider. I don't know if you like pineapple.
Ooh.
I'm not a huge pineapple fan, but it's just the right, I don't know if it's the right amount or whatever,
Mhm.
but it's very tasty.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think
it's new.
I might have
so-
had that, or I had a pineapple cider.
Okay.
At Living Room Theaters always has a rotating cider. So
Nice. I
yeah,
love that. That's a great
it's a great
place.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, Liz, last question. This is, I'm always looking at the time being like, all right, I can't wait for people to rewatch this. So now we're getting to the last, but okay, so the Oregon Brewery Running Series, let's slow that down. The Oregon Brewery Running Series. We're all about being active, having fun, and giving back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, what do you do to be active? Maybe that's running, and we can just skip that. To have fun.
Yeah.
And what do you do, to give back to the community in any small way? Maybe it's just picking up trash along the side of the road when you're out running. But yeah, so let's start with the first one. What do you do to be active?
Yeah. So outside of running, this is a little bit random, but I really enjoy taking ballet classes at Oregon
Ooh.
Ballet Theater.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
awesome.
It's just like one of those things that I've always been
Yeah.
interested in, and I didn't really do it as a kid, but I think it was in 2012 maybe that they did this. Every year they have a waterfront park series where the symphony comes out
Yeah.
and plays.
Okay.
And that
I'm
year,
familiar with that.
yeah, it's always really fun. It's free. It's
Yeah.
at the end of the summer. Everyone
Okay.
should go. But Oregon Ballet. I mean, they just invited a few dancers out and they danced. It was the pas de deux, the duet from Swan Lake. And it was
okay.
just really, it left a really big impression on me. I don't know.
Wow.
It was really cool to see ballet dancers kind of out in the wild almost. Like, it's something you really associate with being in the theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who let them out of the theater?
I know.
Call the park service. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but I was just like, oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, I always wanted
That's
to do
cool.
that. Oh, I wonder if they have classes. And so way back in 2012, I started taking
Oh, so you've been doing it for a
classes there.
while.
Yeah, I've been doing
Okay.
it for a while, and I
for
started
you.
as a complete beginner. I mean, I'm still very much a beginner, but it's been just I really love the discipline. I love.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Well,
just
it's good, like
fun.
core strength training
yeah.
too for running.
Good balance.
I guess.
Good,
Yeah.
No, it is.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's just a little. It's a little random,
That's
but that's
awesome.
Yeah.
How often do you do that?
3 times a week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's not a little thing. This is okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. That's one of those things that, you hear like stories of NFL players who do ballet in the off season or something. You always think of, wow, that's really, maybe I should do that. That looks fun. But then I'm like, I'm probably not going to
You totally should.
sign up. But maybe I should. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
Do I have to wear a tutu though? Is that like
Just
required?
tights.
Just tights.
You're a
okay.
runner.
Well,
You're used to
I've got
tights.
running tights.
Yeah.
I can, no
Yeah.
problem.
But as far as even going back to why do I like Portland? I mean, that's it. Like I can take ballet lessons.
Yeah,
That's cool.
totally.
You can't do that everywhere.
I feel like Portland is a place where I could take ballet and it'd be like, cool. If that's what you're into, that's awesome.
Right.
Which I think it would be kind of cool. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll see if my son loves dancing and just like yoga, and just he has a lot of energy. So
Yeah.
that could be a fun thing for
totally.
him to do.
Yeah, that would be so great.
That person totally just dropped their coffee all over. Did it get you? Are you good?
No, I'm good.
I hope it got caught on camera.
Oh,
I think it
no.
missed it. It's so close.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. What do you do for fun? And outside of music and ballet and running,
Yeah.
do you have
for
other
fun.
hobbies, other fun?
I
guess there's not much time left after.
The things that I do. I mean, I have fun with the things I do, but
There you go.
I don't know. I'm kind of a TV nerd.
What are you watching?
Right now, what am I watching? I mean, this year. So I really liked Westworld. I really liked the OA on Netflix.
That's on our list. To
Yeah,
watch. Yeah.
that one blew
like
my mind a little bit.
Okay, that's like the sci-fi. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It has
Yes.
like the main female main character. It's very kind of philosophical. It's going
Yeah.
into kind of like
Different.
afterlife stuff. It's
Sure.
just really interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you watched Stranger Things, I assume?
Yeah, I like Stranger Things.
Yeah, that was good. I heard they're coming out with season 2 sometime soon.
Yeah.
I don't know when.
I
That
don't
was
even
good.
know.
That was good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So TV, that's good.
Yeah.
What about giving back? This is putting you a little bit on the spot here. Yeah. I'll let you say that, very Brad. And so, if you didn't know, we give part of our proceeds to Oregon Wild.
I knew that
the
because my
Bruce
friend
Alliance.
Shasta works there, and she was at your event on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is the world.
It's
just
always
keeps getting
I
smaller and
know.
smaller.
Yeah,
That's
we were
funny.
running together, and she's like, "Oh, I was at this event, Oregon Brewery," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm actually doing this thing." Yeah.
Because she's dating Alex,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And he was. So, all right, full circle. So my first group run with Portland Running Company, he was leading it back in 2013. So he showed up, was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm with her." I was like, "Oh." Anyway, so Bruce
Yeah.
Alliance and
Yeah.
Oregon Wild, Bruce Alliance, and Portland Parks Foundation.
Mhm.
And so we give back that way, and then
Yeah.
a lot of kind of little things along the way. There's Dollar for Portland. I don't know if you're familiar with that organization.
No,
They
I'm not.
give some too. So, so I'm just curious. I was like asking people this question just to see like what are things that are important to them, kind of in a philanthropic way, possibly, and I don't know. Broad question.
No, that was a good question, and it made me. I was like, "What? Like, what? How do I give back? Like, what do I do?" Especially regarding the running community, and that made me think of, what is my place? Like, what am I giving back? I mean, I think about, just the little things. I mean, I really believe in building community. I love the Portland running community, and just being a part of that. I mean, even like within like my own like team practices, or just showing up. I mean, I don't know if that really goes into like giving back, but
Sure, we could count. We could count it. Yeah.
Yeah, and and then I just beyond the Portland community. This is okay. Sorry. I was like, that would be really fun. I heard this Odessa music playing, and I was like, oh, that would be really funny if it were REC. But
Okay.
anyway, sorry,
It's your husband's band.
getting
It's
off
okay.
track.
It's okay.
But yeah, then I started thinking about, well, what is my place in the broader community, and what do I bring to that? And
Existential
just
question.
yeah, and I mean, with I don't know, with whatever influence I have through either, my blog or social media, I try to be
Sure.
a good role model. I try to be positive, but I also try to keep it real. And part of not just what I do through running, but as an artist, I want to express myself, and not because
Right.
I need to put myself out there, but because that's kind of my way of relating to
Sure.
people, or to
It's for helping others, to
Yeah.
connect, to make. Yeah. Well, I've noticed that in your writing, it's very positive. It's very uplifting, but it's not sort of Pollyanna,
yeah.
Whatever. It has, like you said, that kind of that realness to it, but just a positive, very positive slant to it. So I appreciate that.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I guess
Okay. Well, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Even just sharing that bit of myself, but then I feel like I get people will share their stories, or
Right. Well, the
I
ability
don't
to
know, just
connect
kind
and
of-
get people to open up sometimes is a great way to, I don't know,
Yeah.
find something more that perhaps you didn't realize was there, or helping people that they didn't even know.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, wait, that's actually really helpful to just even to hear someone else's story, or to have someone that can be approachable in that way. So, yeah, so that's great.
Yeah.
That
So, and I
counts.
think that's a question I'll keep asking myself, and it's what can I do better?
Yeah,
How can I more
yeah.
benefit? Yeah,
Totally.
on my local community and the broader running community.
Well,
I think
it's-
those are good questions to keep.
It's a funny question, and I keep asking people this because, I would have trouble answering that question,
Mhm.
because it's one of those things, and like I said, we've done a few of these interviews now, and it's kind of makes people think,
Mhm.
And not that it means I have to run out and join Friends with Trees or some sort of nonprofit, but I think especially a place like Portland, and we all have different means, financial, time, whatever. It's just always what can we be doing to help the broader community? Maybe it is in little ways, or donating 100% of your salary to. No, I'm kidding, but
Yeah.
that would, yeah.
Yeah. No.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a fun question.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so.
Yeah.
Well, Liz, thank you so much. This has been fun. It's been 46 minutes. It's crazy how this flies by.
I know.
I always think, I send that email probably just 20, 30 minutes or something, but once you get rolling, it just kind of flies by. So,
I know. Conversation flows.
yes. So
Yeah,
thank
well-
you very much. I appreciate this.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Yes,
listening.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and thank you for watching this whole thing. As I'm sure that everyone just been glued to their screens watching this. So, one more plug: this Saturday, February, March 11th, we're going to be at Portland Cider Company in Clackamas, Oregon, which is the suburbs. So we're going to be rocking the suburbs out there. It's about a 20-minute drive from, the east side, my house. But it's awesome. Tons of parking, delicious cider, and it's their either 3 or 4 year anniversary. I should know that. So there's going to be a whole bunch of more festivities that you're welcome to hang out with after the run. Some food trucks, all kinds of cool stuff. So if you can get out of your
Sounds awesome.
if you can get out of your rehearsal, you should come join us.
Yeah.
We will comp your entry, of course.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, so thank you again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. This is the kind of awkward part of the interview, because now I have to get up and walk around and turn it off from right there. So don't say anything.
I'll just awkwardly sip my
Just,
coffee.
very naturally.